Good morning, everyone. Hello and welcome. It's Marcy Denning here from Stampin' with Marcy. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in Southwestern Ontario, Canada. And I want to welcome you to my Monday morning live. I'm just adjusting everything here as I get ready. Please say hello when you join me. Let me know where you're coming from. I love to hear from you. I love to know where all of my viewers are coming from. If you haven't yet, please say hello. There we go. Click that subscribe button as well as that notification bell, and give me a thumbs up if you like my content. All right, so I am just getting everything organized here. Happy Monday. It is Monday, July the 11th. My friend Mary's birthday is today. Happy birthday, Mary. I don't know if she's going to be able to watch or not. So, all right, I'm just taking a look at everything, seeing what is and isn't in view, because you just never know when it takes the photo beforehand. It's hard to tell. All right, I think I have everything organized. So today we are creating with the Stylish Sketches stamp set. This is from the Celebration brochure. It can be found right here on page 9. Good morning, Jeannie. Thank you for sharing. Page 9. And I'm also using the Pool Party and Soft Seafoam cards and envelopes. Not the cards, though, just the envelopes. So did you know that July is World Watercolor Month? So that is how I decided what I was going to do today. I thought, you know what, it's been quite some time since I have watercolored. So let's join in on the global fun and do some watercoloring. So we are using, oh my goodness, so many things. So many things today. Okay, so we are using the Iridescent Pearls Basic Jewels. I'm using some of the Lovely Layers vellum. This is from the annual catalog, as are these. I'm using the Splendid Stems dies. This is from the mini catalog. I'm using the Deckled Rectangle dies. This is from the annual catalog. The Timber 3D embossing folder, annual catalog. And this is another celebration reward. So this, as well as this, can be chosen for free with a qualifying purchase of $60 before taxes and shipping. So this Pool Party and Soft Seafoam cards and envelopes, this gives you 40. There is so many in here, 40. So this is what it looks like. These are the envelopes. They are the exact same on the inside. They are just gorgeous. And then you have the Pool Party with the leaves as well as the soft seafoam. And they actually coordinate, excuse me. All right. They coordinate with the Splendid Day from, I'm just looking in my catalog here, GSP, here. So the Splendid, this is where my dies are from. This is on page 65. So these cards and envelopes, they coordinate with this suite of products. I love it when Stampin' Up! Does that for us. Coordinates free celebration products with catalog products. Oh, it's just the best. All right, so let me just get rid of that. Clear this off. We're also, of course, because we're watercoloring, we are using the water painters. And all of the colors. Oh my goodness, goodness, all of the colors. We've got soft suede, pool party, soft seafoam, crumb cake. Although my crumb cake label looks green, it is crumb cake. Shaded spruce, pumpkin pie, and daffodil delight. As well as, because we are watercoloring, we are using Stays On. And bring everything in here. We can move this to the side. So this is the card we are going to be creating. I Googled Mallard ducks. I typed that into my Google search and to see the colors, and that shaded spruce looks gorgeous, I think, as the that gorgeous green shiny head that the male mallard ducks have. So you can see this is the deckled rectangle, and it is shimmery white. When you're watercoloring, you need to use either shimmery white or the Fluid 100 watercolor paper. So this is the inside of that envelope. So there's the outside of the envelope. I loved this pattern, so I cut it up, and then the vellum, I cut it the exact same size. Now, all of the measurements will be found on my blog post, which will go live about 10 minutes after we're done here. Good morning, Anne. So one envelope, let me grab it back. One envelope, I just opened that up and cut it down, and I have a piece on the inside as well. Now this is a little smaller than my normal insert piece. This is just 1/2 inch because that's all I had to work with, because one envelope is going to give me 2 full cards, and then this is what I have left. Now this piece here, of course, has the adhesive on it to seal that envelope, but you still have quite a bit of usable paper there. Or you could do cut this to square that off and have that on your and then cut the rounded, gentle rounding of that flap. Cut that so that you've got that as well. So many fun ways to use up these products. All right, so we are going to get stamping right off, because it's going to take a few moments to dry, and I've already die cut all of my stems. Okay. I hope everybody had a fabulous weekend. We golfed yesterday, and it was a beautiful day for golf. Oh my goodness. So Stays On, you need a special cleaner to clean it. It is for watercoloring. So we have the Stays On cleaner that I use. Okay, so hopefully I don't get my head in here, and make sure I am still in camera view, and we are going to kind of center them as best as possible. There we go. Give it a good press. Yes, I could see the top of my head in there. There we go. So we're going to leave them to dry for the moment. And actually, what I'm going to do is just set that aside. So this, I'm just going to rub that on there and let that sit for a moment while I do my other stuff. So we're done with the Stays On. Let's get that out of the way. And I'm going to, I've already got an extra piece just in case I messed up. So I've already went and embossed my piece of crumb cake cardstock. So my card base is crumb cake that is 5.5 by 8.5, scored at 4 1/4. So let's fold and burnish this. We want to give that Stays On a little bit of time to dry because we're going to be coming at it with water and ink. So we want to make sure that it is not wet at all, that it is dry and set. And I am going to put my liquid adhesive. I have a brand new phone that I'm working with now. Brad and I got new phones, and for the first time ever, and I'm putting more on here, glue, because the embossing folder really warps it. So careful not to get glue on my hands. Yes, for the first time ever, Brad and I have the same phone. We previously he had a iPhone 7, I think it was, and I had an iPhone 8 Plus because I use my phone for, oh, I'm squishing out there. I use my phone for my photos, for my creations. I video with it. I type up my blog posts on it, all that kind of stuff. So now we both have a iPhone 13. And it took quite a bit, let me tell you. Brad's phone, to set it up, he got it set up the start of the week, last week, and mine did not get set up until Saturday. Was it Saturday? Because it took a lot longer because of all of the apps and things I have on mine. And then, of course, I had to, I'm sure I haven't signed into everything yet. That takes quite a bit to re-sign into all of your different things. So I'm just snipping that little bit off. So there we have our insert piece, and my embossed piece here, that is on straight. I will be putting the other layers on a little wonky, just to give it a little bit more visual interest. So there we go. Very lovely. Now, with your vellum, I find liquid glue, if you put too much on, it warps it. So I'm using, where is it? Over here. I am using my Stampin' Seal. And I know that my image is going to be right in the center, so I can put 2 strips on my vellum, and I know that's going to be hidden behind the that panel. So we're just gonna line that up, and I added the vellum because, as you can see, from this side to this side, it has it's really muted it. It's not, this isn't bright as it is, but it is brighter, and I wanted it to be more soft and subtle looking. So, and now, because I was pulling that back, all right, so now you can see that I have taken and I've put this on the card front on an angle, just to give a little bit more visual interest. And you can see when I bring that up close, my water coloring, it's not solid, it's lighter and darker in certain areas. I did that to kind of follow along with the sketchiness of the Mallard ducks. All right, so now we can add our liquid glue here. I think it's just about time to get another bottle out. Make sure that's the right way. Let's zoom you back out. All right, so I'm going to be, as I angle it, I'm kind of keeping an eye on the sides here and here to see, as well as the bottom and the top, to kind of make sure that I've got it kind of sort of centered so that it's, you know, as good as can be, the space between those corners. And then as this dries, I can bring my adhesive eraser. Now this is my original from Stampin' Up. Stampin' Up years and years and years ago sold these. Now you can get them at the dollar store. So just get that rid of that. All right, so now the fun part. We're gonna just take the heat emboss tool. So as I've told you before, there's, you can't see it on mine, but there's a 1 and a 2 setting. Number 1 is for drying ink. So I'm just going to come at my image and just, you know, hit it with a little bit of heat just to be sure that we are nice and dry. Okay. And I'm not going to worry about that curling up a bit and warping a bit because it's going to do that on its own once I start to watercolor. Let's get these guys out of the way. And there's a couple of different ways you can do this. You can squeeze your lid to get the ink on the lid, or you can take a clear block like I'm doing to dip it in your ink pad to put the ink on here, or you can take your ink refill and put a drop on and get it that way. However, that uses a drop of the ink refill, I find, is a bit more ink than what I want. So I have on the ready, I've got my piece of paper towel here. I've got all my blocks. And let's start with the ground first. So that's my soft sea foam. And I like to use the clear blocks because I find that I might not remember to remove any of that puddle of ink that I've been using. And it's got water, it's had water in there, obviously, because you need the water to help move that ink around. So I don't want to contaminate my ink pad. So that's why I use my block. So with watercoloring, I am going to just make sure. Now this is stained. It's not, I'm going to squeeze this to get the water flowing. It's not blue, trust me. So you want to put down a layer of water first so that your ink will move freer. So I'm just going to take my clear block. All right, my phone is spinning. I hope we are still good. And then I'm going to take my next size and I'm going to do the same. I hope I haven't lost connection. All right, so I'm going to squeeze a bit of water on here, get a little puddle, dab it, and then just come back and brush that on, nice and soft, making sure I don't color his little orange feeties or hers, bringing that up. And of course, the more ink you add, the darker it's going to be. And we don't need it to be super dark. And then I'm just going to take this and wipe it, and I'll give it a bath later. Squeeze out any of that excess so that it clears that. And there, my water is clear, so we're good. We are done with that color. Move that ink pad to the side. Let's do our pool party next. And because this is a bigger area, I'm using a larger block. I'm going to come in here and just add my water in between, and I'm trying to avoid the ducks themselves because I don't want any of that ink to run onto them. And you don't need a ton of water, just a little bit, so that it helps that ink move around on there. Otherwise, you might have a big blob. All right, so we are going to and like I said, we're not going perfect or anything like that. You can also squeeze out a bit of water on your silicone craft sheet. A little bit of blue in there. Help move that ink around, staying away. We don't want our mallards to be blue. Turning my cardstock there so that I'm constantly working in front of myself type of thing. And that's a little heavy in there. So let's squeeze that. And you can, with watercoloring, you can kind of lift up some of that color by adding just more water. You can move it around a bit more like I'm doing, and then wipe it off, come back in, pick up a bit more. Every time you watercolor, it's going to look a little different depending on the pressure and how much ink and water you have used. Bring you in just slightly. I love the tips on these water painters because they allow you to get in a little closer to that. And that might be a little dry there. So let's bring in and with this, you're not looking for perfect. This to me is easier than fussy cutting. You just come in and add as much color as you want. I think this is be a little darker than my original, and I'm okay with that. So I'm just going to come in, and you want to kind of make sure you're fairly dry in between when you're adding color for your layers. All right, that piece is done. Squeeze that out. All right, and we're done with the big because this is way too big for my two ducks. Okay, move. Well, I'm not done with that one. So next, let's do the beaks and then their feet. So, oh, it's good there. It's just I have you playing on the TV in my office here. And it was really, actually, I'm going to switch to my super fine. See, we've got an even finer. And for your smaller areas, this is the perfect one. So we're going to squeeze some out. And we're going to carefully I'm trying not to get my head in there. There we go. And it doesn't matter if you don't have it all, like I said, perfect and colored in. And that one's done. Next, we'll do the pumpkin pie. Yeah, their feet in the photo that I saw, their feet were so bright. So we just get a little bit of ink on that. Get that out of our way. And then bring that in. Now you could color these with your blends if you wanted, or your watercolor pencils. Lots and lots of ways to watercolor, and it gives it such a different look when you're using your water painters and your ink pads. And you just go by your, what you feel looks good. And just a titch more there for my handsome fella. There we go. Clean that. Now, still a little bit in that. You can see here where I've got right here on her foot where I've come out too far. So I'm just going to take my clean painter and pick that ink up. It's kind of like the color, whoops, that's too much water. It's kind of like the color lifter for your blends. I'm going to just take this and dab that. Okay. And as I have taken too much color out there, I'm going to come back in and add. Goodness gracious. So see, we can fix that. You can always fix that, and then I can come in later with a titch more blue and just fill that in. And this does not want to get rid of that orange. Some colors really, stain. There, that looks better. Okie dokie, I want this one here, and we're coming in with our gorgeous shaded spruce. I have a lot of blocks here, so and we don't need a whole lot. Get that out of the way. And we are going to come in and just wet that area. And maybe is there enough water in here? Yes. Maybe I want this. So squeeze a bit of water, come in, grab some of that ink. All right, and then just paint it on. It's kind of like paint by numbers. Do you remember those from when you were kids? And we want to make sure we don't color that white band. Come back in, add a bit more, and I'm just taking the excess off of that heavy water because I want more saturated color, not a lot of water, because the water will make it bleed. So we just want to come in, and I'm going to call his head good. I think that looks great. Now, get rid of this block, that ink pad. Next up, we have our soft suede, and the male mallard. He has quite a dark throat here and across his wing. I'm just moving my water around. Then we are going to get some of this color. And we're going to add it all around on here first. Again, avoiding that white band on his throat. All right. So has anybody, excuse me, chosen this set yet? Does anybody have it? I'd love to know. And if you do, what did you do with it? How have you used it? So now I'm just kind of building up my color, coming in and picking more up, and then coming across that wing to add more, because his wing has quite a bit of darkness there, as well as his bottom part of his throat and chest. Really getting that deep color right in across that wing. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is squeeze that out, because I want to take as much of that, I want to get that off so that I can come in the heavy ink, and then I'm just using my hand to see how wet it is, and I'm just going to soften that line by just going over. Same thing here, and it's just going to spread those edges out so that it's not a harsh line. It's more that it kind of graduates there. He is a handsome fella. All right, so last is our girl, and she, okay, Jeannie. All right, so Crumb Cake is the lighter of the browns. And, oh, you know what? I didn't color her yet. Let's come back in here. And we're going to come in and do the exact same thing. And adding that thin layer of water is key to getting your ink to move nice and smoothly across your image. Otherwise, you get those harsh blobs, and we don't want that. And I tell you, these water painters, they're in the annual catalog. I love that we've got the 3 different sizes so that depending on what you're coloring, you can choose which tool you need. Get rid of some of that water because we want to come in here and deepen her up a bit. So just by adding the layers, you could wait to have it dry to add more of the layering of your color. However, I'm just being careful. And you can see that color is building. And she is just brown. She's got no other fancy colors on her. All right, and I'm leaving her center area there lighter. Okay, I think she's good. Oh, beautiful. Just beautiful. Isn't it amazing how just ink pads and the water painters, and look at what we've done. So lovely. All right, so we are going to come back in. Let's wipe this off so we don't have any excess. We're going to come back in with, just to help things, because we don't have lots and lots of time to sit and wait. You've got better things to do with your day than to watch paint dry, so to speak. Alrighty. And I'm doing the front and the back because the heat, oh, we've still got some water there. I'll grab another. The heat tends to curl it slightly. Let's close this one up. All right. Hello, Brenton. Thanks for joining. It must be very, very early in the morning for you in Australia. All right, so we are going to now build this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my sprigs and I'm going to figure out how I want them coming from underneath my image here. And every time you do it, it's going to be a little different. And this one here is going to go here. So we're just going to set that there for the moment so I can adjust to see how I want this visually on the other side. Come on. Come up just slightly. Actually, let's put you on here. Change of plans here so that I can make sure I have enough space. All right, so this is going to be angled slightly. So I want you coming up like that. And then I'm holding this down, and then I'm going to tuck that there. And just looking to see, it doesn't have to be the same. Every time you do it, it can be slightly different. It's whatever works for you and what you find appeals to your eye. I think that's good. So what we're going to do is take that off because I don't need that. Oh, come on. There. Because you know what I'm doing. I'm grabbing my handy dandy press and seal. This piece I have used so many times. I think I'm having a problem this morning because my vellum, the humidity is back today, guys. So my vellum is curling because it is humid, getting humid in here in my house. Whoops, wrong way. All right, so let's scooch you just, I think, pull you up slightly. There we go. I like that better. So I'm going to take that and I'm going to place that carefully. Give it a press so that it picks it up. And then carefully lift up. And there's my pieces that I know exactly where they are. And we're going to grab our dimensionals. And I'm going to put one there. And that is going to secure that. Whoop. Oh my goodness, 12:38 a.m. Tuesday. You are a night owl, Brenton. This old girl, yeah, I cannot stay up that late. Yeah, I just can't do it. In my younger days, yes, but not anymore. I have friends that craft that late at night. They say their best ideas come in the evening, whereas I find, for me, my best ideas come early in the morning. I am an early bird. I'm an early bird. My husband is a night owl. So it worked great. Oops. It worked great when the kids were in school and we had to take them here, there, and everywhere. That we were opposite. All right, so that we were opposite functioning. So, all right, so we are then going to take this and make sure it's fairly centered. Oh, and look at that. That one's over too far. Which one is that? Can I carefully lift you up and move you over slightly? And that does not, I'm gonna have to add another dimensional there because it's not hitting it there. Okay, let's see. You don't want it to, there, that's better. It was over just a smidge too far. Oh, jeepers. A little bit of fumble fingers happening. All right, so centering again and just slightly angled the opposite way. ever so slightly. Just, I don't know, gives it, oh, come on, don't stick, don't stick, don't stick. There. Just a little low. There, I think that looks better. All right, and then this pretty, and I'm not taking all of the little bits out. Not at all. And then you could actually come in once this is completely dry and pull up some more of that color, leave a little bit more white space. Okay, that one is on that side, yes. Whoa, my glue came out in a big blob. There. So I'm only adding a little bit of glue. You can see, because it's not all on, some of it is hanging off my image there. There we go. Then my linen thread, take your hand, I've shown you this before, take your hand, and the oil and heat from your fingers is going to pull that, the curl that's in it from being around the spool. And then do the other side that was still around the spool. We're going to do a nice little double bow. So ends together. So am I the only one with this stamp set? Does anybody have it? And when your loops, like because this is a double loop, so we've got a lot of thread there, take your pick tool, is perfect for that. To pull that loop through, and then holding the knot center and giving tugs even so that you're not getting wonky loops. Again and again. And we want this fairly tiny because we don't want it overpowering. We just want it to be that subtle little extra something something. A little bit tinier. There we go. You could just do the single, but I wanted the double loop. Okay, so I'm going to just tighten that again. Pull that tinier. Pull that together again so that those tails. There we go. And that's going to go just like that. Now, my mini glue dots. There's the one from last night. They're a little big. So I'm going to, this is a half a glue dot. Whoop. I'm going to cut it in half again because I don't want that much. Come on. So leave that sitting there. Take that, put that back on the spool, and then grab this one. And that is going to go right there because you don't want it hanging off because then it's going to cause your stem there to stick down. I'm just pulling those together so that they are not as separate looking. And that, I want that slightly shorter. There. All right, so then we just give that, and I'm going to slide this under so I'm not pressing that down onto my vellum. So there we go, it's attached, and now you can see I wanted something soft and subtle, yet a little bit of sparkle. So having the iridescent pearl basic jewels tucked in here and there, just added that. Hello, Linda from California. Thanks for joining. All right, so glue, because you know, although I say that the glue does warp the vellum, I'm just putting a titch because I like to make sure that, let's put that one there, my embellishments are not going anywhere. And I have to say that these iridescent pearls are my favorite embellishment. I use these a lot because I like the teeny tiny. I like that they are subtle, yet have the sparkle and not like in your face. Wow, there they are, so big and boisterous almost is what I like to think of them. Some of the embellishments we have are quite large. And I like this smooth, shiny, it just, oh, so gorgeous. All right, there is today's card. What do you think? Do you like this set? Have you used this set? Have I caused you to take a look at it for the first time? Remember, this is in the celebration brochure, and you've got, like, this fox is a great size. Great masculine cards, great. I have no sentiment on here so that I can use this for anything. That's my favorite thing to do is, if I can, don't put a sentiment on there so that I can then use this for a birthday card, a sympathy card, a congratulations card, a hey, I'm thinking of you card, whatever. And then, of course, we've got our inside. And you'd never know that that was a cut up envelope. Hello, Paula. Yeah, World Watercolor Month. I encourage you to get out your inks, your water painters, whatever, and create. It just, the type of effect you get with it is completely different. And like I said, we could then come in here with, and just kind of pull some of that ink out, wipe it off, and then as it dries, we'll have a bit more white. Think of it as a kind of like your color lifter. All right, so that is today's card. I hope you like it. Before we go, really quick, this email is coming out later today for my Canadian friends. Saturday Soiree, the September edition. This is closing on August 1st. I'm placing my order. This is for my Canadians only. This is 3 classes all together in one. It is a hybrid. You've got, you can join us live on the Zoom, or you can just take that PDF with all of the videos and create when you have your chance. Either way, there's 12 projects, and each project has a PDF with a color photo, all of your measurements, all of your supplies, your inks, as well as a video. I video every single project, so 12 videos, so you can step by step create the projects as well as create more down the road. So that will be going out later today. So be on the lookout. If you are a newsletter subscriber, it will also be on my Facebook. If you are in Canada and don't have a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator that you currently work with, I would love the opportunity to earn your business. If you're shopping in my online store and your order is under $200, please use the host code. Don't use the code if it is over $200, as you will get your own Stampin' rewards, and I want you to get those rewards that you've earned. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to me. All right, have a fabulous rest of your Monday, you guys. Thank you for joining me. I hope you have a great day, and hope I have inspired you to pull out those water painters and get watercoloring. All right, bye.